Hello, stream.
Good evening.
We're here for the long-awaited part 2.
We made it. We're surviving. We are here.
It's been a long road to get to this point, even just from last week.
Oh boy, has it. Oh man, man, my camera suddenly got all laggy. Hold on, just give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna turn it off and turn it back on again.
Because that's how IT fixing happens.
Yeah, it seems to work most of the time.
Poop. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It's fine during the preview, but then when I turn it back on, it's a little laggy. It's better than it was.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'll figure it out.
Ooh, I have these really... What?
It's probably on the internet. And...
That's true.
Hello, Dengle.
Hola.
Oh, geez. Can you talk again?
Uh-oh. Please tell me. Hold on. Let me see if this helps.
So, okay, I've had to turn everybody up by like 70% with these new headphones. So
Now I'm at 150%?
200.
Oh, okay.
You have a tendency of getting very, very quiet when you speak, so I have to stick you up louder.
That's fair.
Okay. You're also... Ooh. Yours and Nen's voices, because they're deeper, are actually vibrating on my skin right there, and it's really fucking weird.
You'll get used to it.
It feels really weird on like the tops of my teeth. I don't really know how to describe it, but that's where I'm feeling it. Like right above there. It's a weird feeling.
Makes sense. In its odd way, it makes sense.
Oh, do you use bone conductor headphones too, Kraken? I just got them and I've never used them before. I like how they fit and everything, but it's a weird feeling. Okay, so it's been a long week to get here.
It has.
In this moment for part 2.
You have no idea at all.
I do.
Well,
I do
Faye
know. Because I've had almost that exact issue to happen. They told me if I didn't get Zeva there within like the hour, she would have had the same thing. But like, basically, yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
I also know the buttons thing, but not to that degree.
Yep. So then you have no idea.
Nope.
I pray you never do.
On either count, because they both suck.
Yes, they do. All right, so anything we want to go over? Ms. Storyteller.
I was just gonna hand wave. I told you about this earlier, but I wasn't exactly sure how to handle Beth, so I was just gonna kind of hand wave the "I'll stay with the car in case someone decides to mess with us" thing, to kind of explain her absence. But if any of you guys have a better idea, go for it. Let me know.
Works for me.
Yep. Pretty on par for Beth. All right, so I will get our intro going. There we go. Hey, I did it.
Yay.
I did the thing successfully.
Ooh.
Somehow.
Rah. Okay. And here we are.
And here we are.
Okay. Well, welcome back to part 2 of Indianapolis, everybody.
Woohoo!
All right, do you want to do the recap before or after the trigger warning?
Either way,
Oh,
up to you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and start with the trigger warning then. So, trigger warning, this is World of Darkness. World of Darkness things can and will happen. If they do affect your health, be it physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, please take the time to step away and care for yourself. You can always come back, and if you can't come back, we do recaps as is about to happen. So with that, tonight I have with me Faye playing Tori,
Hello.
Nen playing William,
Hello.
and our usual one of our usual storytellers, Dengle, is playing Rufus tonight.
Oh, I see how it is.
Hello.
It's Saturday.
That it is.
Yes.
That it is.
Little side note, for those of you that are watching this, you will notice that we are down a Cocia. She has made the decision to step away from the VtM games for personal reasons. We don't know if she will come back in the future, but that is her choice as of now. And with that, let's dive into a recap.
Travel.
Yes, travel. There was a club. There was some drinks that were bought. At least 2 of us didn't trust them.
Beth neither. Only William.
Yes. Let's see here. Then there was some feeding that happened.
Yes. Tori fed off of Beth to get rid of most of her hunger. Just in case. And then Rufus did some feeding.
Yes. I think the only one that hasn't is William, but he didn't need to. So it's fine.
He drank at the club.
Yeah, but he didn't need to, so it's fine. There is, however, that residence Yes, I believe William and, well, the non-existent member now. Or, well, non-present member now, let's put it that way. Still exists. Was looking for a audience with the Indianapolis Prince to announce their presence. Whereas I think at this point, Rufus and Tory have mitigated themselves of, we're just going to call them, tell them, just meet us here.
Is that the plan then? Are we getting him to us?
Maybe. I know you and I had talked about it off camera.
Did we?
Very briefly after the last game.
I don't know. We could always let him flounder for a minute.
And I fully intend on doing that because I want to see this. However, I believe that covers most everything that happened.
Yep.
A lot of in-character talking. It was very, very fun to see the two coteries mixing for the first time. Speaking of which, I guess that means it's time to dive right in then, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we left off with Beth and William pulling into the hotel parking lot. However, I think we're going to let that sit for just a minute because Tory is about to get a phone call.
Me?
Tory is indeed.
Who is it from?
It's from Cyril.
Hello?
Tory,
Yes?
why do I have a picture of Hush and some other person on my phone? They're both in cages.
What?
Yes. It is from, well, I assume, your friend. Very
What does the other person look like?
They would give the general description of Aaron. Now, it also has a message with it that simply says she can only choose one.
Mm.
I expect you to choose the correct answer here.
Right.
I don't know who that other person is. I also don't care.
Mm-hmm. Did it say anything else?
No.
Guess we have some searching to do.
Right. We'll talk later.
Yeah. She'll hang up. And just kind of zone out for a minute. Oh, jeez. Let's this sink in.
Is everything all right? As Faye walks away. That's fine.
Right here, I threw the dog toy into the dog bowl of water and I had to get it out. No, things are not fine, but when are they for us?
When we decide to seclude ourselves completely away from all of the rest of them.
Yeah, that doesn't always work out now, does it? I think we both tried that.
Oh, it worked for me for about 20 years.
I only got a few years of doing that.
You also had an animal with you, so
I did manage to
Harder
hide
to do.
from some of the Nosferatu in the city. I take that as a feat in and of itself.
oh well, that is quite the feat. I don't know exactly. Quality's not the correct thoroughness of yours, but I know ours were up until recently very, very, very thorough.
What choice would you make if you had to pick between a very useful person and someone from your past?
Well, it would depend on who that person is from my past.
A relative.
Something tells me that the people from my past would be very, very old and
Descendant. Not directly your past, but
well, I would weigh my options, and depending on exactly how attached to this person I am, or potentially how attached I am to this person, and how useful the other person is, I would try to make the more logical situation.
that person is also attached to a very old Zemitzi and a group. I don't think I have much of a choice.
Oh, well, I think your hands are kind of tied in this situation then. As long as the Zemitzi doesn't have a guru, it's probably fine.
I don't know what he has.
Well, mine does. If I was put in that situation of pick that or the other, it's because I think that would probably be the most logical, well, the most probable situation that I'd be put in.
He used to keep whites as pets, though, so that's something.
Oh. Well, that's concerning.
Yeah, don't worry. The Second Inquisition burned them all, except a really big problem. But it's not your problem.
Right. We have other white problems and other very old kindred problems in my neck of the woods. I would say it's fun, but that wouldn't necessarily be the truth now, would it?
No, it's not fun.
Can you best him in physical altercations?
You know, I don't actually know. We've never had to do that except for when we first met. Fortunately.
Okay.
I have a very fun new thing I can do that may level the playing field, but I don't know how good it will handle against him.
Well, in any case, I would still use your brain over your, if you still have one, heart.
I tried. We'll see where that goes.
Worst case scenario, I can make the decision for you if you decide that you can't.
We'll see.
And that, I think, would be a good pausing point to see what William's up to. As we recall, you and Beth just pulled into the hotel parking lot downtown in Circle Center. And Beth is looking a little nervous after what happened. And she turns to you and says, you know, maybe it'd be better if you went inside and talked to them. I'm not good at the whole talky social thing.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll be back in a bit. William will head on in.
Okie dokie. So you walk into the hotel and it's getting close to the later hours of the evening, so it's not terribly busy, but there are some people milling about. Pretty normal hotel business. How would you like to proceed?
William's going to walk around the main lobby, see if he can notice anything in particular that might signify that this is where the prince is staying.
Okay. Are you trying to do this passively, just kind of as you meander, or are you purposefully taking your time to search things out?
Meandering.
Okay. Give me... Yeah, go ahead and give me wits and awareness.
Burn willpower.
Okay.
2.
Okay. It takes you a minute. However, you do overhear a conversation about some very strange people meeting at a bar downstairs, like on the like a sub level in the hotel.
See if we can figure out a way down.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll for that one. This one's pretty straightforward. You can just go to the elevator. There's an elevator right on the other side of the room.
Oh, maybe heading down.
Okay. So you head over to the elevator and you punch the basement level floor, and the door opens to what looks like it could be a mirror image of the upstairs lobby you were just in, except that there is a long, dark paneled wooden bar at the very back of the room. Still pretty sparsely occupied, but there are people milling about. All the people that you can see that are patronaging in one way or another have crystal glasses in their hands filled with different levels of thick red liquid.
Approach one of them.
So let's see. So the first person you walk up to is a pretty generic looking man in a business suit. But he's talking to this woman who looks absolutely gorgeous. One could even describe her as incredibly beautiful. She has long, thick, wavy black hair, pale skin, real dark eyes, and most of her upper face is obscured by thick curly bangs. And both of them just kind of turn to look at you, shocked mostly, little edge of disdain in the man's eyes, but they haven't said anything yet.
Good evening. I'm recently arrived in town, and I'm currently looking for a Miss Hargraves.
You want to set up a meeting with Miss Hargraves? The woman turns to you, just ignoring the man completely now.
Yes, please. I'm not from the city, and I understand that it's important to pay respects to the important people.
This is going to be a little bit of an odd roll, but we'll see what happens. Charisma and etiquette.
Six.
She grins this wide grin. Well, it's nice to see that some of our more recent visitors have better manners. I'd be happy to introduce you. What's your name?
William.
Willie. Come with me, and she'll kind of slide her arm underneath yours and escort you back to the elevator.
Don't resist, just follow her.
And as you two walk, she makes idle chit chat. She attempts to make idle chit chat with you, asks you where you're from, what your business is in town, how long you'll be here. Just polite conversation.
You would tell her that he's from Detroit. He caught a ride with a road courier and trying to make his way to a different city so he can start anew.
Detroit. I heard things have been rough there lately.
Yeah,
Makes sense that you're trying to get out. And that kind of continues for a while as she leads you back into the hotel lobby and then turns to explain to you, now, I'm going to escort you over to that building over there. And she points through the double doors across the circle and to this, one of the bigger, taller office buildings on the circle. She's obviously got one of the, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. She's on the top floor, but nobody gets in without proper clearance. And since you're new, I'll have to escort you. You are all right with that, yes?
Yes, thank you for your time.
Of course. I'm always happy to assist a new face. And she just smiles this blinding smile and begins to walk purposefully out towards the building.
They're making their way there, I guess.
Okay. And while you guys are crossing the street, let's jump back to Tory and Rufus. Check in with you guys, see how things are going.
So where do you want to go now that you've fed?
We have the actual physical address, right?
Yeah. Let's go rate it off.
Right. So would you like to go do some scouting?
Do you want to take your van? Or do you want to do this on foot?
On foot would probably be the better idea.
Well, hang on then. She'll go to Rufus's truck, and in her bag, she'll have the harness and leash that she has used before. It probably wouldn't be good for me to walking around when they can see me. I don't think he knows what my dog form looks like, if you want to take a walk with that.
I can probably manage that. I
I'll be-
can also turn on the charm to get a little bit of less attention on you.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not he knows, it probably looks a little less odd.
Right.
Sorry for the riveting conversation you're going to be having with me.
Oh, it's quite all right. At this point, it's more of a get business done rather than have conversation.
Yeah. I failed, so I'm at 2 hunger. And then doing the shape change into her dog form. And then letting Rufus put the harness on. In the van, not on the street.
I guess we would probably do this parked a ways away. Because from where we were quite a ways from what I understand. So probably get within like a 15-minute walk and then do it from there.
Pretty easy to do. There's parking all over Indianapolis.
And we would take a leisurely stroll through the whatever district, neighborhood, plaza, whatever it is.
It's an odd part of the city where the older industrial buildings start to give way to the suburbs. It's a mix of half fallen apart houses and half falling apart industrial sites, empty lots.
Right. And I know Rufus specifically, as we walk past the building, is going to be looking out for anything obvious. People, cameras, anything like that.
Alrighty.
Tori is as much as she can as well.
Okay. Both of you go ahead and give me wits and awareness.
Literally nothing.
That would be a 2 from me.
Okay. So understandably, Tori's a little bit preoccupied and doesn't really notice too much. You do see the very obvious street cameras and occasionally people passing by trying to get one place or another. Rufus, you see the same. Nothing immediately stands out.
Okay. And then as far as like entrance, is it just normal lock and key type door, or is it like a keypad?
It's one of the older industrial buildings. It's a pretty standard lock and key.
Okay. We can handle that.
Is it open, or are there people milling about inside that we can see? Or at least that Rufus can see, maybe.
There does seem to be evidence of a security guard. You can see pretty recent footprints made on the dusty floors, and they're obviously recent. And the door itself is in fact locked.
Is there any smells of fresh blood that Tori can pick up from the outside?
I'm gonna roll for this one.
If you will allow me to use heightened senses, I can add dice to that nothing roll.
Okay, yes. With your heightened senses, you would be able to smell some blood.
Okay. Okay. From that building?
Yes.
Okay. Carry on. Won't make any notions of it.
And Rufus would do his best to not attract attention right now.
Okay. So go ahead and give me dexterity and stealth, and then your dexterity and larceny, I believe.
Okay. As far as the stealth is concerned, would you consider this urban stealth?
Yes.
Okay, I have a specialty in that. That's why I ask.
Go ahead and add your specialty.
All right. Well, I still got one. So, and he's not actually trying to break in right now. Not until we have the full accompaniment. So.
If you're trying to say something to us, you're muted.
There we go.
Okay, you're muted. There we go.
If people seem to be staring overly long at the pair, can Tori be a little bit more intimidating acting? Like that stiff walk and all of that? To make people, not stare at them?
Absolutely.
What role would you like? Intimidation?
Yeah, just you know what?
I don't have a real dice pool for dog form, mind you. So we can figure something out because everything is 5.
Nah, just go ahead and give me straight intimidation.
Or hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
All right. So yeah, no, you totally managed to look somehow just that little bit bigger. Maybe it's like the change in your stance, the subtle shift in your body language as you lean forward a little bit more. But some guys that were passing and starting to looking like they were going to cross the road to kind of take a better look at you suddenly stop and backpedal and just scoot off into the distance without saying a word.
Nice. Keep on walking, though.
Okay.
Are there any alleys near here?
There's not necessarily alleys. The buildings are a little bit too far apart, but there are a couple one-way streets.
Does this building back up to any of them?
Yeah, there's a one-way street that runs directly behind it and a couple other buildings.
Tori will start to gently tug that direction.
Rufus wouldn't resist. He'd just kind of go with.
Just want to see what we can see down there.
And would just kind of circle the building, circle the block if he needs to.
Yeah.
Are you guys looking for anything in particular, or are you just kind of scoping it out?
Mostly scoping out just like entrances, whether or not the smell of blood is more or less back there, if there's ways for trucks to get in and out there, just general scope out.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to add anything, Dengle.
That covers most of my list, so we'll go with that.
Okay. Those are pretty obvious things that would be pretty evident, so I'm not going to make you roll for these. The one-way street is pretty sparse. You do see it has some really old windows with some panes of glass that have like half melted, as glass does as it ages, that look like they could be broken pretty easily. There is a back door that is also locked, and the smell of blood is a little bit stronger on this back end. There is a small, what looks sort of like a garage door, a metal garage door that might be able to fit trucks.
Okay. Rufus will make a mental note of where everything is, but continue on around until has started back where they started, and continue on, kind of headed back toward the van.
Okay. And as you guys are headed back towards the van, we will pause it there and pick it back up with William. So you are headed across the street with a rather pretty woman. And she has told you that Prince Hargrave's office is in the penthouse in the office building across the way there. And she's leading you across the street, making idle chit chat. You get up to the office building. She pushes open the doors, and you can see there's a pretty typical regiment of security there. Just the security officers. There's a few people milling about, chatting on phones, and she escorts you up to the front desk where the chief security officer is, and requests a visitor badge for you. And she gestures to you to tell the security officer your name.
William.
He nods and enters that into his system. And he hands you a pretty plain, looks like a piece of plastic, really, just about the size of a credit card. And he looks at you and says, "Don't lose this. I won't be able to get you another one."
Got it.
This works for one night and one night only. If you need to get back in after that, you're out of luck unless you can get someone to let you in.
I assume I won't have to.
That's the hope. And then he turns to the woman. "All right, ma'am, you're good. I'll let the prince know that you're here to see her." And she smiles blindingly as she does. "Well, I guess we're on our way then." And after a minute, you do get paged by the security officer that the prince is ready to see you. Obviously doesn't use that title, but Miss Hargraves will see you now. And they escort you over to another elevator. And before you open the doors into what you assume will be the office, the woman turns to you. I'm Eris, by the way. It's so nice to meet you. I don't think I told you that earlier.
No, I don't think you did.
You know, there's something about your style. You should stick around for a little bit.
We'll see what happens.
Well, if you ever get a spare moment, you should definitely check out that new club that the Prince's Child just opened. It's a little bit of an odd duck, but it's fun if you're willing to pay the tab.
What was it called?
Chromia.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it's supposed to be... Oh, what did she say it was? A fashion statement that was more than just clothing. I'm sorry, I'm not really well versed in the whole thing.
Interesting.
I thought it was. Gave me a headache trying to see my own reflection for so long, but it was someone's cup of tea, apparently.
Well, hopefully it works out for him. Or whichever.
And with that, the elevator doors ding open, and you are let out into a short hallway with a set of wooden double doors at the end. No other doors, no other windows.
Walk on over, give it a quick courtesy knock.
Come in.
Head on in.
And you open into a very large office space, floor to ceiling windows, beautiful view of the city, especially at night. Bookshelves lining the walls, a very comfortable looking couch over in the corner. And at the very back of the office space is a massive, what looks to be an antique wooden desk with a couple of rolling chairs sitting in front of it and a woman seated behind it in a tall, high-backed chair. She has pretty thick, poofy brown hair, large, dark eyes, very simple cut, three-piece suit, and she's just watching you expectantly.
Good evening, Miss Prince Hargraves.
Good evening. What can I do for you?
I just want to announce myself, let you know that I'll be staying a few days.
Ah. Why don't you come and take a seat? Thank you very much, Eris. You may go. And the woman on your arm nods and turns back to the elevator.
Anyone take a seat?
Well, I will say it is nice to see that some outsiders have a modicum of grace about them yet. What brings you to Indianapolis?
Exploring for a bit. I've recently left Detroit due to some issues, and I'm trying to find a new place to settle.
You're not the first that I've received from Detroit. I am mildly familiar with your current situation. Tell me, how are things up there?
Settling down.
Well, if
We've,
that's the case, it'll be the first.
We recently discovered some Sabbat that were hiding out, and we've had to take care of them.
Go ahead and give me composure and etiquette as she reads you.
Two.
And she got 4. And she kind of peers at you for a minute. Well, that sounds like it was something.
It certainly was.
It's quite the harsh note I detect in your voice.
It came off a little worse for wear physically the final night.
I would say my condolences, but you are here. And I hope you haven't had any issues follow you south.
No, the person heading it has been permanently taken care of.
Well, I'm glad to hear someone capable is up there.
Yes, we got a few people who can handle themselves quite well.
Good to know. Well, if that is the case, then may I be the first, or at least among the first, to welcome you to my humble little city. Welcome to Indianapolis. You are more than welcome to stay as long as you like, provided that you do not bring issues to my doorstep. And if you do, I expect them taken care of. Are we understood?
Yes, we are. Is there anything I should steer clear of? Mainly to avoid causing issues for your city.
Well, I will go ahead and let you know that there have been some concerns raised over some disappearances on the south side of the city. I have people that are looking into it. And that is all I will tell you in the interest of not muddying their investigation. But if you could please steer clear so that they can do their jobs, that would be much appreciated.
Understandable.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
From my understanding, there are some limitations on feeding here. What would the best way to go about that?
Let's see, you were escorted in by Eris. Did you meet her over at her hotel?
Yes, I did.
The downstairs bar serves as our rack. You are welcome to go there in an emergency. We ask that you please use it sparingly. If you do decide to settle somewhere, please contact me or my seneschal. I would be happy to introduce you at a later date. However, they are currently out on business. we will make sure that your preferred feeding grounds do not overlap with someone else.
I see.
Lastly, you need to know that there is a moratorium on feeding in the White River State Park. No one is allowed to feed there.
I'll keep that in mind.
Please do. Is there anything else you needed from me?
No, thank you for your time.
Enjoy your stay.
You enjoy your eternity.
And with that, she will nod and gesture to the doors in a clear dismissal.
But I'm out.
All right, and as you head out, let's swing back around to Tory and Rufus.
Are we back at the van?
Pardon?
I asked if we were at the van yet.
You would be.
Yeah, so first and foremost, get the harness and leash off of Tori.
Yeah. Hop in the back of the truck, transform back.
Would then send a message to William. Rufus would. Just, we've done some scouting. We got kind of bored. We are, and kind of looks at the closest building and just gives them the building number and street here. Just when you get this, let me know. We'll be around. It looks like it's pretty straightforward.
If I remember right, Rufus would hear it being in his fan, wouldn't he?
Rufus
Unless
would-
if you left it in the car.
I probably left it in the car.
So there was a scent of blood there.
Well, I'm sure that's easily explained.
Yes, just it's likely they're either long-term staying or there's more than a few there. If the scent of blood is that permeable that I could smell it outside. Because while it's a intense smell, I don't often smell it through buildings.
Would by chance your friend be one of those that can enhance blood?
I mean, I haven't seen him in years. It's possible he picked it up or knows people that can.
I'm just trying to think of alternatives to there being 15 or 20 in there. I'm still banking on the 3, maybe 5.
Not sure. I know he at least had a younger Tremere with him and one ghoul who used to be Inquisition. There is at least probably that. And I know the Tremere was not his child.
Right. So the probability of more than just them is on the higher side, is what I'm hearing.
Unless he has somehow broken his old habits of playing around with and experimenting on kindred, it's very unlikely.
We both know that people don't change at the end of the day.
No. Especially us.
Exactly. So, while he might be doing experiments, it probably isn't any different than he used to.
No, I would imagine not.
So,
I would hazard a guess there's about 6 to 9 in there. That was about the average size of our old pack, give or take, I think.
well, let's just hope that the new pack is 2 Tremere and a handful of Thin Bloods.
Yeah, let's hope.
Chances of that actually happening are not 0, but very close.
If he got his hands on a couple of clans, we will be having more than Thin Bloods coming against us, though.
Which ones in particular?
She would know all of them, right?
Yeah, that was in the book.
I figured. Nosferatu, Zemitzi, or Gangrel.
And I am going to do an intelligence and occult roll, if Buttons is okay with that.
Go for it.
Okay. I got completely nothing. I don't know the significance of that.
I asked you if you knew what gargoyles were, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
so an amalgam of the 3 clans.
Not necessarily 3. It could just be Thin Blood and one of them. He found a way.
Is
We
to say
fought
disconcerting.
one of them, and it was not an easy time. It flew
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
with wings.
What do you think would be best to use against them?
I want to say Steven got pickaxes at one point, but I'm not exactly sure. They're not necessarily made of stone. They're just very hardy, and they can become stone.
Well,
The skin gets a bit scraggly.
right. The good thing is you can break stone. It's
My claws rent it pretty well.
Yes, and it's actually fairly easy to break stone. If you know what you're doing, you just have to find the correct fault line.
I don't think a bullet would be of much use.
On stone, probably not. However, the flesh that would be inside the stone,
Yeah.
who knows?
If I can rend some tears in it, I'm sure that could help.
Or I can try the trick that I tried a couple nights ago.
What did you do?
Hold still.
Ah. Well, by all means, please try it. They are often pretty easy to overcome with mental suggestions. Built to be that way.
Right. Now, before we go ahead and dispatch said potential issue, if there's any reason why you would want to keep them around, tell me beforehand, please. And this goes for any of them.
Well, if we find a transformed one, trust me, it would be kinder to finish them.
Doesn't necessarily just pertain completely to gargoyles. It also pertains to any of the other clans that might be present.
I can't think of any particular person that I would want to spare here, except apparently there is a captive kindred and a captive mortal who... That's what the phone call was about earlier.
Those two we'll figure out after the fact. Everyone else will take care of beforehand.
Yes.
And Rufus would recheck his phone to see if William's gotten back to him yet, which probably not.
So it's a bit longer before he does.
How long would you like to wait for William to get back to me?
I mean, you would have to tell me how much support you think he'd bring.
He held his own versus a gangrel of all clans.
Well,
And he also has these special wax tablets that could potentially be useful in this situation, assuming he brought them. Hopefully he did.
interesting. Well, I don't mind waiting. I will disclose to you I can make myself invisible.
I can just be silent, so...
It's not quite the same as how the Nosferatu typically do it, but I can. I have to move slowly, but I actively meld in with the background. And security cameras don't really pick it up, I don't think. I'm trying to remember that. I think it bypasses that, right?
There's a roll.
There's a chance of it, at least.
That is good information to have. In the meantime, while we wait, and he will actually start digging through his stuff in the van. He'll actually pull out a chessboard and chess set, and set it up. I'm like, here for a game. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've had somebody that's put together enough to actually prove a challenge.
I don't recall playing this game, but I know the rules, I think.
And that is all that matters. As long as you know the rules, I'm sure you can at least put up a decent challenge.
I know quite a few of the rules, so I imagine I was fairly decent at it.
And they'll start playing.
All right. So with that, let's pop back to William.
William would pop on Sense the Unseen as he makes his way back to the car and see if anyone's following him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that roll.
Or
Tie goes to the active kindred. You see something kind of moving along the shadows of the buildings close to your van. You expect to see a human figure or a humanoid at least, but once you finally get a decent enough look at it, it is a very large black bird. Most likely a raven.
take the long way around, see if you can lose it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me do you have any dots in drive?
Nope.
Okay, so go ahead and give me wits and streetwise then.
One.
So you take a couple turns. You think you might have accidentally turned onto a one-way street you probably shouldn't have, but luckily for you, the streets are pretty quiet right now. And after a couple minutes, you think you've lost it.
Once he's sure he lost it, he'd check his phone, shoot a quick text to Rufus, and let him know that he's on his way.
And as all that happens, he kind of looks down and says, "Oh, William's on his way." Knight to F7. Check.
Wonderful.
So after a little bit of maneuvering, William does manage to make his way over to where Rufus and Tory currently are parked.
In a riveting game of chess.
So, how did your meeting go?
You seem satisfied. Apparently, there's a feeding ban in White River State Park. Not sure if something's going on there. And the You've been warned to stay away from the south side of the city, because that's where all those people went missing. They're trying to figure out what's going on.
Is the warehouse at the south side?
Yes, that's where you guys are currently parked.
Well, one of those are going to be ignored.
Naturally.
Yes, because if you haven't noticed, you're on the south side of the city.
We probably should not cause any more ripples than we're going to, so we should leave that feeding ban area be.
Oh, and if any of you kind of get desperate, such and such building is where the rack is.
Good to know.
I will be avoiding that place like a plague.
Exactly. They'll know if someone new pops in there. You should probably go at least once just to make an appearance.
I'll do that when we have time.
Well, not right now. That would just look suspicious.
All right, and hopefully you're still full from last night.
Yeah, slightly hungry, but I should be fine.
Ah, well, with any luck, we'll find something that you can feed off of. So the building is about 15 minutes away. They have a front entrance, a back entrance. Both are locked. There are old windows that might be able to be broken. Couldn't really get a whole lot of good information inside. However, apparently there was quite a strong smell of, well, blood. So
I would think there's at least one security guard there, but we don't actually know how many are inside. Maybe, if the security guard is a mortal, we can grab them and have one of you persuade them into telling us what they know.
yes.
Easy enough.
So, would you want to do that, or would you like me to handle that?
I'll handle that.
Okay. If they give you too many issues, just, well, think they're a bruja.
Got it.
And we'll hand over the address. I don't know if Tory would want to accompany, not necessarily fully, but be in the area as William does this, but Rufus would.
Well, are we just going straight in after we get this information? So he can't call and say, hey, I gave this information out.
That might be the better tactical move.
That's kind of what I assume. We can get the information and then take care of the mortal, however, and then just go. Whoever's hungriest gets them.
I am quite satiated.
No telling how we'll be when we get there.
So,
Shall we?
so back to the warehouse on foot.
Tori is not hiding this time.
Okay. And are you guys just kind of meandering your way back? Are you moving with purpose? Are you stealthing it? How are we doing this?
stealthing in the inconspicuous way. Not like necessarily trying to stay out of sight, but trying to not look weird about it.
Okay. So go ahead and give me dexterity and stealth, but I'll also let you add your streetwise to this. Because you've already been down these streets, you kind of know the area a little bit.
I have stealth against kindred. Am I adding it or no?
No.
Okay. Thought so, just wanted to check. Well, that's fun.
I got 5.
What
1.
happened?
3 in a skull.
3 and a skull.
I got 5.
Okay.
So I have a list of compulsions if you want to use those or the non-kindred clan ones. If that applies.
I'm gonna be nice and say I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it really has much of a reason to apply here, at least not yet.
Okay. We can hold it if you'd like, or do whatever you want.
I'll give you this one.
Okay.
So after a little bit of walking, the streets are a little bit emptier this time, so it's a little bit easier to stealth your way there, especially because you've already been down this way. You feel pretty sure that you're hidden. So you come up to the warehouse, and how would you guys like to approach?
Do we see evidence of the guard at the back?
You see any evidence of the guard at the back?
Did we?
Did you? No, oddly enough. Seems like the back hadn't been touched in a while.
Well, if we want information, looks like we need to go to the front.
Let's go.
When we get there, Tori will... Is it steps leading up to the door, or is it just a door?
It's there's just like one step up. It's mostly on the ground.
Tori will stand next to the door so she can reach out and grab the guy as he comes out.
Okay.
No, she won't reach immediately, but if things seem to be going badly, she's going to reach.
Okay.
And Rufus will probably stand on the other side of the door, just in case.
Okay. And William?
Give it a knock, try to get the security guard's attention.
Okay. Let me make a roll here. So it takes a moment, but eventually you start hearing what sounds like boot steps down the hallway. And as he gets close, you can hear someone muttering under their breath about gosh darn kids and think they're being clever sneaking in here all hours of the night. And you're met, and the door is thrown open, and you're met with a very gruff, very angry looking, slightly older gentleman, maybe late 50s. What do you want?
Well, I'm just going to cut the chase and put on off.
Okay.
And he's just going to say, hey, what's going on here? Why didn't you tell me?
You would. go ahead and tell you what. Did the boss send you?
None of his acquaintances sent me.
I think I've seen you around. Right, the boss. Nothing. Just kids. Just kids.
Is there something you're just trying to keep the kids from?
Just there's old machinery, dangerous stuff. The boss wouldn't like me saying, even if I could say.
Oh, so you don't actually know what's going on inside.
What?
Oh, so you don't actually know what's going on inside.
No, why would something be going on inside? It's an empty building. Go ahead and real quick, go ahead and roll me manipulation in either subterfuge or persuasion. And if awe gives you anything for that, you can add it to it.
Six on a messy.
Six on a messy. Okay. Remember that here. There's so the man's just like, yeah. No, it's just an empty building. I mean, I don't know why you're asking. If the boss sent you, clearly you know. But hey, I'm not one to question the boss. What's your business here? Is that all? Did he send you to do an inspection or something?
Yes, he did.
Great. That's exactly what I needed. Well, you better come on in then.
William will open the door and make his way in.
Okay.
Follow.
As will Rufus.
Okay. So let's see. You got a messy. So as you're walking into the building, it's pretty obvious that the place is in disrepair, hasn't really been used for its true purpose in decades. However, there's still old posters on the walls of back when it was still in use, and catchy slogans about time is money and all these other witty sayings that were employers' attempts to encourage their employees to be a little bit more productive. And something about them just strikes your funny bone. You are what someone would say is transfixed and just stand there reading all these old posters just over and over to yourself.
So I'm also giggling like a maniac.
Probably.
Or I will just give a look to Rufus.
And Rufus will do his absolute worst to scoop him underneath an arm and just like drag him with his one strike.
Yeah, Tori's just gonna grab him by the back of the shirt and drag him along.
Can Can William snatch one of the posters before Tori drags them?
You can try. They're pretty old. Go ahead and give me let's see here. Just give me straight dexterity.
1.
So you try and reach for one of the old posters, but they pull you away just as your fingers touch the paper, and you actually end up tearing part of the poster.
No, I like that one.
And at the exclamation, the man turns around to see Tory and Rufus hauling William off. Where'd you two come from?
Handlers. He's obviously touched.
Manipulation and persuasion.
Oh boy, I can't do this at all. That would be 3.
It's okay. He only rolled 1. Kind of gives you a look and he's like, whatever. Not my place to question. I don't get paid enough for it. Come on.
You're right. You don't get paid enough. I don't think any of us do, really.
You get paid?
What, and you don't?
Paid in
No, not really.
promises.
Stupid internship laws. Anyway. And so he leads you down this empty hallway. It looks like it's probably the only actual hallway in the place, because there's a ton of big rooms. And here's the break room. Here's a couple bathrooms. Here's an old office. And back there is the storage, but I don't have the key to that.
What's in the storage?
I don't know. Last I was told, it was just a bunch of the old machinery that they couldn't be bothered to move.
Well,
Who has the key for that?
I don't know. Jeff might have a key, but he's off tonight. Besides the boss, he's the only other one that had it.
well,
I'm just a
if
temp fill-in.
well, if you don't say anything, I can probably get it open. I'm good with locks and such. We really do have to do a full sweep of the building, isn't that right? And he'll kind of nudge William.
Yeah, you need to.
Ah, what the heck. It's not like they can fire me anyway. Go for it.
And Rufus will walk over to the storage door and start attempting to pick the lock.
All right, go ahead and give me that roll.
That is 3.
Okay. So it takes you a little bit, just because the lock is so old. It's kind of feels like almost like it's rusted a little bit from the inside, from just kind of sitting there for such a long period of time without being messed with. But eventually you do get it open.
And after he unlocks it, he'll take his book out and act like he's writing down a report. Graphite.
Tori will open the door.
Gotcha. And he's gonna give you guys a look. So I'm technically not supposed to go back in here. Can you guys continue this without me? Or do you really need me to escort you back there?
Tell you what. How about you go take a lunch? Come back in, say, 3 hours, and he'll actually use Dominate.
Okay. And let's see, mortals don't get a saving throw against that, do they?
Unless they have experienced it before, kind of, and can prepare themselves. Mainly like hunters.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't have seen this coming. So he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm feeling hungry, and there's a burger joint down the road I've been meaning to try.
And don't clock out either. Just stay on the clock. It's fine.
I like the way you think. And he just turns out and walks away.
So useful.
Yeah. Depends on the situation, but yes. After you.
Or I'll open the door and go in.
And at first glance, it looks like the man was true to his word. There is a lot of old machinery. Some of it seems to be like half crated up. Some of it's got like sheets thrown over it. Some of it's just sitting out in the open. But you guys, there is a clear path through what looks to be a pretty sizable room towards the back, and you think there might be a door back there.
That is quite the storage room, as she says as she makes her way back.
They really need to clean in here.
Somehow I don't think that's their first priority.
No, but still, it's a fire hazard.
Right. Maybe we can put it to use later.
I'm happy you understood what I was saying there.
Show them the error of their non-cleaning ways.
Yes.
Doesn't dust combust? Like, explode minorly? If there's a lot of it?
Yes.
Wonderful.
So as you approach the back of the room, are you looking for anything in particular moving towards the door? What's your goal here?
Looking to see if anything looks like it had been used recently.
Okay. Go ahead and give me what's an awareness.
Can William pop on heightened senses, see if he can hear anything?
Sure.
2.
2, okay.
I also got 2.
2.
3.
3. Okay. So, nothing is terribly obvious at first glance. However, all three of you do notice there seems to be a forklift at the very back of the room that seems to be in a little bit better operating condition than most of the equipment in this room. And 3 with heightened senses. William, you hear what you think sounds like muffled conversation from the room on the other side of the door.
Don't think we're alone here. Some people talking in the door over there.
How close are we to the door?
You're about 15, 20 feet.
Want to be sneaky like going up to the door now?
Okie dokie. Go ahead and give me that stealth roll.
Rufus is just going to concentrate on Silence of Death.
Okay.
So
3.
he is silent.
Okay. Okay. So you guys stealth up to the door, and lo and behold, you do hear what sounds like muffled conversation between two women.
Can Tori put her ear against the door to try and listen better?
Sure.
And then heighten senses?
Okay.
4.
Okay. So it sounds like the two women are having like two discussions at the same time. It's very odd to listen to because you're catching a full conversation between the two of them, and then one of them sounds like she's having a conversation with someone else at the same time, but you don't hear that end of the conversation. Almost like she's on the phone with someone.
Can I make
out? Yes, you can make out. You can make out phrases like "should be here soon," "surprised we haven't heard an answer yet," and "brace yourself," things like that. And let's see, with 4, you think the voice sounds familiar to you. You can't quite place where.
Okay. Tori will just kind of turn to the others and do a gesture of 2 or 3.
You'll just get a nod from Rufus.
William's going to look like he's going to be ready to charge in.
Gently turning the handle, does it turn or does it seem locked?
It seems locked.
Tori looks to Rufus.
And Rufus will just slide his lockpick set out yet again. I got 1.
So the lock is very sticky, and you make a lot of noise trying to get it open, so much so that you actually hear a shushing noise on the other side of the door as you're working. And with Tori's heightened senses, you can actually hear someone say, "This is probably them. You should get going." And but after a minute, the door does click open.
Open the door and stand in the door frame.
Okay. So you open the door to what looks like that loading bay, and you see the almost garage door like metal door at the very back of the room. But between here and there is 3 figures. One of them looks familiar to Tori, at least. And the other 2, they also look familiar to Tori, but not much, but not the others.
How does that one look familiar?
How does which one look familiar?
You said the first one that looks familiar to her. Like, if Tori knows these people, who are they?
It's Haley. And she has a gun pointed at 2 people kneeling at her feet. And she is grinning ear to ear.
That one's mine. To Rufus. And William.
Hey, I see you brought friends. Oh my gosh. That's so
who
great.
Killed Blitz. Tori will step in.
Glad to
So
see you
I
finally
have to
made
make a
it.
choice. Then.
Yeah, Gregor's not too happy about the way things have panned out, and especially after how rude you were to him on that last conversation. Bad idea. He's not happy.
Mm-hmm. So what is this choice?
Oh, it's very simple. One friend or the other. And if you don't decide, I get to kill them both.
Are they conscious, lucid?
Let's see. Hush is very clearly in torpor. And Aaron seems approaching half consciousness. He's not out cold, but he's definitely not to the point where he's paying attention.
Well, Tori will take a couple steps forward. Does Haley do anything?
I wouldn't get closer if I were you, or I'll make the decision for you.
Well, why can't I be right up close and personal to make this very personal choice?
Because I said so. And Gregor said so, and what Gregor says goes. You should know this by now.
Even if one of them is what helps me stay away from the beast.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Oh, he didn't tell me that. Oh, that's so juicy. No. Sorry.
Does Rufus have his gun out?
He has his hands in his pockets right now. And Rufus is actually smiling, kind of staring at Haley. Can I interject and just say something really quick?
Sure. Any frenemy of Tori's is a frenemy of mine.
No, I'm really not a friend of Tory's, but we have a business arrangement. So, call that what it may.
Fun.
However, word to the wise, and this is where using your head comes in. At a certain point, you have to stop pretending to be who they want you to be and just be who you are.
I don't think I follow.
Oh, you were not supposed to.
And what, am I just supposed to let you kill them?
I'm sorry?
Am I just supposed to let you kill the one I don't pick?
Well, I mean, Gregor's taken precautions, obviously.
And what does that mean?
It means let's just say I'm not alone. And I'm going to leave it at that for now.
If I give my word that I will only do what I plan on doing to one of them, can I approach? My attention will be just on them. Just to make sure they're okay. And that Gregor hasn't pulled any of his tricks.
Right. So full of tricks. Go ahead and give me charisma and persuasion.
Ooh. Yeah, just one.
Okay. You know, part of me really wants to see this play out, but what Gregor says goes. You gotta stay there.
Then tell me what happens after I pick.
Same thing that happened to, what did he call him? The ferret? And she holds up a gun. Oh, surely he told you about that, right? Went up in flames. Carissa's pet ghoul, the one that went up in flames.
So that happens to the one I don't pick. The one Okay, so the one I pick to save, what happens to them then? Do you let me go with them?
Well, we'll just have to find out, won't we? I won't hurt them, that much I can promise.
Is she backed up to anything? Or is anything behind her?
No, she's got a good 15, 20 feet between her and the back wall where the garage door is.
And is the door open or closed?
Door's closed.
Can Tori take a look around? See if she sees anything, hears anyone?
Sure.
With heightened senses?
For hearing? Go for it.
4.
Okay. So you don't see anyone else in the room with you, but you do hear movement out on the street directly behind the garage door. And it's heavy footsteps.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming I have to pick now, then.
That's the idea.
Well, as much as it pains me to say, you can kill the mortal.
And Haley looks shocked for just a moment, but then she smiles and puts the gun to his head. I'll give you one more chance. Just because I'm nice.
Do you not have the guts to do it yourself? Do you want me to pull the trigger instead? Do you want to watch me sink my fangs into them? What would you prefer, Haley?
That's all I needed. And she pulls the trigger.
Immediately she pulls the trigger, Tori's charging her.
Okay.
And Rufus's hands out of the pocket with his up toward the doors.
Okay. So let's see. So Faye, go ahead and tell me go ahead and make your roll for what Tori's going for Haley.
Dex and athletics?
Yep.
Only 2.
High goes to the active kindred, though. As you lunge, what are you doing to Haley?
Sinking the fangs into her neck. And a big grapple.
Okay. So as you're doing that, Rufus, you turn to the garage door, and as soon as the gun goes off, that was obviously a cue because the garage door goes flying up, and silhouetted by the street light is a hulking figure. Looks like it might have been mortal at one point. Definitely feminine. And it looks pained as it lumbers in.
Wonderful. Not even gonna wait a half a second, just gonna be like, all right, we need to take care of that one. And we'll start just unleashing as many rounds as he can, physically get out as quickly as he can get out. Also going to rouse dexterity.
Okay, go ahead and give me that rouse then.
I do not get hungrier.
Good for you. All right. And give me the roll for those shots.
That would be not good enough. I'm going to spend a willpower.
Okay.
That would be 5 with a crit.
5 with a crit. Okay. So you start unloading into this thing, and the bullets just thunk, thunk, thunk. And you can almost hear how solid the impact is as she kind of staggers back a little bit, and you see cracks start to form in her shoulders and her upper arms and just across her torso. It's not chipping yet, but you've hit her pretty solidly.
And he'll call out, William, I surely hope you brought your wax tablets. You know what ice does to concrete, right?
Nope, but I got one on me.
Oh, good.
Until it gets close enough, though, William's also going to shoot at it.
Okay, go ahead and give me that roll.
3.
3. Okay, so you go to shoot, and maybe it's just because you still have your mind on the maybe it's because you still had your mind on the posters that you saw in the hallway. Maybe it's because you're still trying to piece together the conversation that you just heard. But the bullets don't seem to strike quite as deeply as Rufus's did. They kind of lodge in her and got stuck. And it did a little bit of damage, but definitely not as much as you were hoping for. And so
Sorry, I was just giving rules.
Okay, so bringing this back around, Let's see, I'm reading as I go here.
Tori will stay latched on to Haley, but kind of turn so she can see what's going on. Like, just grip Haley and just physically turn.
Okay. Haley is going to resist, so go ahead and give me strength and brawl to maneuver her as she tries to resist.
I am gonna rouse the blood.
Okay.
For strength.
Go ahead and give me that.
Hang on, let me see it. I failed that one, but how many rounds would it take for me to get a hunger back?
Let's see. It should be one hunger per round, so you should get one back this round.
Okay, so I'm still at 2 then. Okay. So then I get 2 dice because that, and then and brawl.
Yes.
Ooh, 4, 5, 6. 6 with a crit and a skull.
Okay. All right. So you do succeed in getting her turned in the direction you want. She tries her best to resist, but Tremere noodly arms do not do much in the face of an angry gangrel. And let's see, you got a skull. Since I do not have your list, would you
Skulls
and
for that only typically work if they fail.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. I will make note of that.
I just wasn't sure if she somehow miraculously pulled off a gross crit or something like that.
No, apparently Haley is not that lucky tonight. And so that covers you and Haley's round. All right. William, Rufus, what y'all doing?
Continuing firing.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that roll.
Using another willpower because I got 0 on that one. So yeah, willpower. At least I got 1.
All good?
Yeah, I'm just switching my dice out.
Okay, just wanted to make sure something wasn't going on. Okay. So you do hit, but it doesn't really do much damage at all. And what's William doing?
About how close is this thing right now?
It is about, let's see. How far into the room did you come? Were you right with Tori, or were you hanging back a little bit?
Hanging back a couple feet behind Tori.
Okay, so this thing is about 20 feet from you.
William is going to take a couple steps forward and do another shot.
Okay.
Another 3.
Okay. Again, doesn't do quite as much damage as you thought it would. However, the cracks are starting to spread as you just keep pounding at it. And let's see here. Rufus, pass or fail?
Fail.
Pass. It starts to lumber towards William. And is going to take a swipe at you. Big tough claws. Would you like to attempt to dodge?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and give me dexterity and athletics.
Here.
Would you like to spend a willpower?
Sure, I can only reroll one die though. Nope. Still 2.
Okay. I'm sorry. This thing rolled very, very interestingly. So it slashes into you pretty solidly to the point where you almost drop your gun. Sorry, I'm losing my words again here. And let's see here. You take. I'm looking for my notes here. Let's see. You take 2 aggravated damage. All right. Top of the round.
Is Haley still struggling?
Haley is still going to struggle as much as she can, yes.
Then Haley is going to continue to be fed on.
Okay.
What? No.
Oh no, what happened?
Oh god, I don't. I got 1.
You got 1. Okay. It's okay because Haley got none.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Even after burning a willpower.
I have not burned 1 yet.
Okay,
Keep on feeding.
All right.
Am I going down another hunger?
Yep. And Haley is starting to look a little desperate.
So the bite should have done 3 aggravated damage at first anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's probably not feeling too great.
She's starting to get scared here. Yep.
She could better be.
All right, gentlemen.
Seeing what the gargoyle did to William, Rufus is going to put on all awe, and he has Melpomene. So anything he says is transmitted, so they don't actually have to see him. He's like, "Hey, big girl, over here."
No.
She swings her head around and stares at you. And as she makes eye contact, you can see the fear and just absolute angst in her eyes. Like she clearly does not want to be doing what she's doing.
And is actually going to, if you stop now, we won't actually kill you.
In a gravelly voice, she responds, "If you don't, he will."
Then just kind of looks at Tori. I think we're good. Just as long as she's attention on me, not William, I don't care. That will be his entire round. Just attention here.
Okay, so she is transfixed on you.
Thought Black Sabbath and hit her with it.
Okay. Go for it. Two. Okay. It connects pretty solidly, and she cries out in pain. You obviously did some damage, and it was better than the bullets.
You use the wax tablet, right?
Yes.
So ice starts forming over her is what happens.
Yep. And as you watch, you can see it like skitter into the cracks that were already forming in her skin. And it's just, I'm sorry. Anyway. So let's see here. And I believe that, see if she's transfixed on him. That brings us back to Tori and Haley.
Same thing.
Okie dokie, keep it going.
3 for strength and brawl.
Okay. Tie goes to the active kindred. She's still not getting away from you yet.
So Tori's gonna feed until she stops struggling, and then keep going.
Okay. At this point, you can feel the fight is starting to leave her, but she's still reacting out of just sheer instinctual terror. So you imagine it won't be too much longer.
Since the fight has died down a little bit in her, Tori will reach up and just like grab the back of her head to hold the head still. Just like yank it back and to the side to hold it still and bite deeper.
Okay. She tenses, but it happens, whether she wants it or not. All right. And back to Rufus, William, and the gargoyle. So at this point, ice is spreading pretty solidly over the gargoyle, and she is starting to panic. What is this? What is this? And she's like trying to stumble away, but is still transfixed on Rufus and is like caught between wanting to get closer and wanting to get away from whatever's going on.
And Rufus is just gonna kind of, they know what ice does to stone and concrete. I hope you do too. Would you like some fire to go with that?
Her eyes just widen as you say that.
And he is going to do Ravnos crap.
Ravnos does Ravnos things.
Yes. It is my manipulation and obfuscate versus composure and wits.
Okie dokie.
still do not get hungrier.
Get lucky tonight with that.
1, 2, 3, 5.
Okay. So you beat her 4. You beat her 4.
And just a ring of fire around, much like a gas burner on a stove.
She screams in abject terror, and it's an odd haunting sound. Like, it sounds, you can hear the human in it, but it also has this odd grating quality to it, like two rocks grinding on each other. It's really, really weird. But since it's in a ring around her, she's stuck. And the ice is still growing. What would William like to do? Unless Rufus has any more?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Be nice and aim for the head.
Okay. Nothing. So, like, she, like, you just time it wrong or something, because she, like, jerks her head in just this absolutely frenzied attempt to do something, move away, get the ice off. But matter still is, you miss the shot. Okay. Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Back to Tory and Haley then.
Same thing.
Alrighty.
4.
You beat her 3. And let's see here. When you do drain a kindred, do they fall into torpor first?
Yeah, so the act is you drain them, their health track hits 0, they enter torpor, and then you can continue to drain them.
Okay.
Which takes it that final step.
Yes, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. So as you finally reach this point in the feeding, you feel Haley stiffen up. And you can feel her as her whole body just goes rigid and she falls into torpor.
Tori will risk a look at Rufus.
He's pretty
assuming
transfixed right now.
Doing Ravnos stuff, not quite meeting his eyes if he looks anywhere near her direction. And then just kind of turn a little bit. So William isn't seeing what's fully happening here. So they're just kind of seeing Tori's back / side, like shoulder area, and then continue.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading rules here. So.
Dengle knows the rules on these better than I do because I don't remember it ever, even though I've done this multiple times.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood potency, if I remember right.
And then I have a special thing.
Okay.
Let's see, resolve, blood potency, and my special thing adds 2 dice.
Okie dokie.
So I'm going to split these in half. Because this hasn't gone well. I'm talking to myself.
Okay. Shit, where did that?
Okay. 5 with a crit on the first one.
Okay. Resolve and
Hers should only be 3 dice.
yeah, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure I got it. And you said you rolled how many?
5 with a crit.
Okay, yeah, no, she only rolled 1 on that first one. So that is 1 success.
I'll write these down, Dengle.
Okay.
Because we have to figure out the win margin later.
Okay.
Because this is 3 rounds of it, correct?
Yes.
Are we doing them all together or separating this out?
Let's just go ahead and do it all together. Get it done and over with.
Okay. Oh no. 1.
Does tie go to the active kindred in this case as well, Dengle?
I believe it requires a reroll.
All right, let's re-roll it.
Oh. I got a 2.
Let's re-roll.
Jesus.
I'm not kidding. She rolled 2.
Oh Lord. 4.
Okay, she got no successes, so you won that one by a country mile. And hopefully this should be the last one.
Three.
Okay, looks like you won that one. She only rolled 2.
Okay. Yeah. That's 2 stains tonight. 2 just
All
like
right.
full, not even stains. That's 2 full losses of humanity there. But there's more that we need to figure out too, right? Do I have to do rolls for more?
See.
Or
Sorry, I'm reading.
because like vengeance of a touchstone type of thing? I'm not sure
you're
how we
good,
want to
Noah.
rule this.
Don't worry about that part.
2 humanity.
All right. We'll let Dengle figure that part out.
No, I've already figured it out. Don't worry about it.
Speaking of which, so how would you guys like to handle the gargoyle while Tori is doing her thing?
As the gargoyle continues to freeze, Rufus is honestly probably just going to like read last rites. Just from like memory.
Okay. And what would William like to do?
Seeing as this thing probably isn't moving due to whatever Rufus is doing, he's just going to keep his gun trained on it and make sure it doesn't try to get out.
So as this is happening, you see something just absolutely shatter, pardon the pun, in this gargoyle, and there's like almost a last moment of humanity that comes poking through. She would fall to her knees crying if she could, if it weren't for the ice, as it just encloses. And promptly does what ice does to concrete.
For those of you that don't know, it expands and with explosive results sometimes.
Especially in small spaces.
Yes.
And with those cracks already in it, Congratulations, you guys beat a gargoyle.
Just the two
With
of
ice.
you. Tori will use whatever shirt Haley's wearing to like wipe off the disgusting mess that is her face now. Kind of as best she can, and then just let her fall.
And as it does, it starts to decompose a little bit. Haley wasn't that old,
5
was
years.
she? Yeah. It's not a lot, but she's looking pretty worse for wear.
Yeah. Just gonna ignore Aaron's body. Not sure where the bullet hit, but it probably isn't pretty. Yeah. Pull out her phone and just shoot off a text to Cyril that simply says, "The choice was made," and not respond, and then bite her wrist and put it to Hush's mouth.
Okay.
I passed
Okay.
that rouse check.
Right. Dengle, would that work?
Hush wakes up. Probably with a blink and a startle and like a instinctive like try to swing at something.
Just kind of catch the hand as it comes down. Not meanly or forcefully, but just to make sure it doesn't make contact.
And Hush would probably just kind of stare and look around, just kind of nod and kind of just point at the open door. Yeah.
We should leave before more people come.
We might want to create a fire hazard, though. A real one, not.
Did Haley have the fire pistol?
Yep.
Wait, is Aaron on fire?
No.
Okay.
She has it. She just didn't use it because you
Okay.
didn't choose the kindred.
Toss the fire gun to Rufus or William. Whoever seems
Rufus
more
will-
aware.
Rufus will grab it and kind of walk to the door and take aim way down the aisle. Like, okay, I need to make sure that we have an actual exit strategy.
Yeah,
That
the
is-
door that's in front of us.
Okay, well, I would start walking now.
Just walking.
And once they're around the corner, he's going to just pull the trigger and then tuck it inside of his jacket and walk away.
Won't even make you roll for it because that is an awesome mental image.
Or he'll just be
And-
walking next to Hush if he stuck around and didn't take off or go invisible and just kind of stare straight past everybody as they're walking. And pull out her phone and check the text. That probably came back pretty quickly.
Yeah, it probably would be something along the lines of, and I assume our associate is still with us.
Or I would hand Hush the phone.
Hush would
If
just
you
be,
want to respond.
Hush would just real quick take a picture and just smile and send it over. And just be like, I'm going to the airport.
What?
Hush would just be like, I'm going to the airport.
I'm sorry.
My own sloppiness got me here. It's not you.
Still, I will possibly see you around.
Might be a couple months. Depending. Really, mostly depending on what the issues in Atlanta are.
Bad.
Sooner rather than later, then. Potentially.
What's anything else? Unless prompted. Making our way to the van, I guess.
Okay. And let's see here. Are you guys going about it just kind of casual selves? Are you trying to stealth it?
I don't think Tori's in this presence of mind to do anything but just walk with a slight purpose. Like, a little lost gaze-wise, but she's not hiding anything.
Okay.
Just for fun, can William pop on Sense the Unseen again and check the skies?
Okay.
Six on a messy.
It's okay. So, you don't see anything particularly hidden. However, you do notice a couple very large birds sitting on a nearby rooftop. And that's about it.
Got eyes in the sky.
Fried chicken, anyone?
I don't know how to do it.
I still have the special. If you think they're going to be a problem.
I don't really care. I'll be sticking around to have that problem touch us.
No, I think we should probably vacate the area.
Think so too.
Agreed.
Tori will text Beth or call Beth.
Yellow.
Meet us at, gives whatever crossroad they left the van at.
Can do, boss lady.
Hang
And
out.
she'll. Okay. And true to her word, Beth will meet you at the given location.
There's a discussion I need to have with someone in Detroit. Would you mind some company on the way up?
The more, the merrier.
Well, hopefully just two.
I think you understand the
If Beth
sentiment.
wants to come, or she can go back to the city. I have my bike either way.
Oh, yeah, if I could head back, I don't want to be away from Jackson for too long.
Can I give you the keys to my bike, and then I will get it from you when I get back to the city?
Sure thing.
Thank you. I should take the keys to the car.
And Bethel swaps these with you.
Yeah, Tori will toss her the day bag and all of that, everything she'd need. Well, is there any last minute things we need to do here? I'm willing to bet this entire thing was just a trap for from Gregor. And even if it wasn't, I doubt he would stick around.
One of these days, I really should meet this Gregor.
I rather hope you don't need to.
Something tells me if I do, you'll probably be there. And it will probably be either a very, very good day or a very, very bad day. Either way, something will happen.
It will be a good day for someone and a bad day for someone. But we made the statement we needed to make.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's not quite the statement I personally was hoping for, but
it's not the one I expected to make.
I hope that the statement was worth the end result for you.
Well, there will be consequences to deal with, I'm sure. And Tori's likely looking very dead at this point. I forget what the to humanity is, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's real, real bad. And Rufus will actually take out his book and write along the bottom of a page Kat's actual shop address. Rip it out and hand it to Tori and I believe you want to go talk to somebody here. I think by the time that you get there, which I don't know how fast you're willing to go and how fast you're wanting to travel, but it will either be Borea or Varia that you're going to be dealing with directly.
Good to know. Do they have a number, or will you tell them I'm going to be looking for somebody there?
I will let both of them know that you are coming.
I appreciate that.
Not a problem. You helped me out and gave me something very, very valuable for something that, while still valuable, was not nearly the same. This is the least I can do for you.
Wow. Even though it wasn't Gregor himself, I will honor what I said prior. All debts are now wiped clean.
You go on another trip and you happen to be hunting him, and you can guarantee that he's going to be there. I might be able to be persuaded to come along, if for no other reason, just for curiosity's sake.
Well, if it comes to that, and I can make sure it's him, I will let you know.
By all means. And do stay in touch.
You do the same.
I forgot exactly why we got along so well initially. Being here doing this kind of reminded me?
Because when you knew me, I wasn't trying to embrace my actual clan.
And what I said should be a constant reminder for you. Stop trying to be what they. Right. Stop trying to be what they want you to be. Be what you want to be. The two align, so be it, but I don't think they do in your case.
No. I think I'll be less pleasant for them to deal with soon. But, or at least not what they expect. Not what they've dealt with me already.
That's unfortunate for them, however, they'll get used to it.
Mm-hmm. It will be interesting to see how my coterie reacts when I get back. Wondering if I'll even have one.
Wondering much the same, so don't feel bad.
I will likely see you there, at least in the city.
Yes. Take care of yourself.
I have a feeling you're going to get to the city before I do.
I know the way.
And then Tora will get in the car. And start to drive off with putting the address in.
And Rufus will load William into the van and get out of, it's not Dodge, it's Indy, but you know what I'm talking about.
And as the two vehicles head north and pan our way back around the city, to find a gentleman a little bit older, very rugged looking, with a fantastic set of facial hair and a swooshing coat behind him. Just kind of chuckles to himself as he watches the two vehicles head north. Before he turns away and, in a swoosh of his cloak, becomes a raven and flies off into the night. And I believe, unless there is any last business anyone wanted to take care of, we shall call it there for the night.
I think I'm set.
I'm good. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Good to go.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for this little special and insight into our next upcoming game, Indianapolis. I have been your storyteller for the evening, Buttons. Thank you very much for watching us this far. Spoilers are ahead as we move into our post-game talks. If you want to stick around for that, please feel free. If not, thank you very much. Have a great evening, day, whatever time of day it is when you're listening to this. Before you head off, though, please do find us at Total Party Krit or Total Party Krit Games we have lots of social media out there. You can find our link tree on any of those. Instagram. We're on Twitter, but we're not active there very much. Twitch, obviously. Please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. Find our socials. We do have a Patreon. I think we're kind of looking at redoing that, though. Yes? No? Maybe?
Kind of, not really, but kind of.
Okay. And aside from the Patreon, we do also have a link to this wonderful company, Dice Legion, that you can find on all of our link trees. Spend a little money, we get a little money. It's a wonderful program with a wonderful group of people. They have very high quality products such as dice bags, dice trays, stickers. Go ahead and check them out. They're wonderful to work with. And with that, yes, official announcement. I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but our schedule will be changing coming up pretty soon. Not a whole lot. We are just kind of looking to shuffle things around, make things a little bit easier on us storytellers. We will be alternating weeks. We will still keep our Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule. However, on Tuesdays, we will alternate between Detroit and Nichols Cryptid Catchers. Thursdays will be just sort of a chat night. We might run some one-shots, just kind of what we're feeling that week. And then Saturdays will alternate between Midnight on the Circle, my Indianapolis game, and the Atlanta game.
Yes, and this is coming from me, if at any point we get a bunch of people in the community server, which you should go and join, which the link is on the link tree. If we get enough people on there that we can sustain potentially doing like random one shots with people on the server on Thursdays. But we need people, so get everybody.
I think we're gonna have one more game of the conclusion, the wrap up of Indianapolis and the merging coteries and mixing coteries and all of that. And it will be a very fun RP based session of just people interacting with people they wouldn't really have normally. So that will be Tuesday. Thursday we'll either unsure if we're skipping to reset our time or if we're going to be doing a chat night, maybe a chat night.
Probably a chat night.
And then starting Saturday is when our new schedule will be kicking in with Atlanta.
Yep.
Okay. So that is how it's going to be happening.
All right.
So, yeah.
That everything?
I think so.
All right. Once again, thank you very much for joining us this far. Spoilers are ahead. If you're hopping off, have a great evening.
Yay! That was fun. Oh
God,
boy.
I made it.
I was worried for a minute there. I'm not gonna lie. I rolled real bad all night.
The dice were not with Haley. She did not roll better than maybe 3 at one point.
That's
she
fine.
was rolling terribly.
I'll take it. I had double her dice for that, and we had to re-roll how many times?
Twice at least.
Like 3 times or something like that. Like, good lord. I had 6 dice I was rolling.
Yeah, you had to re-roll too many times.
Yeah. But I have a lot of experience to play with, and I need to figure that out, because Haley does not have a whole lot of stuff.
No, she does not.
If she was a baby.
She was.
Yep.
Did I do I did a Haley deep dive on stream already, I think, right?
You did, as a matter of fact.
Cool.
Because I asked you how Haley and Terry became a thing, because they feel like polar opposites.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is Story finally getting some dominate powers?
Tori might be getting some dominate powers. We will have to see.
Oh, that's scary.
Wow, that was loud.
That's a scary thought.
We will have to see.
I need to pop away for a real second. I'll still have my headphones on so I can hear, but I'll be right back.
As opposed to a fake second. Got it.
Yes. Aren't you guys proud that I actually like half thought about how to like mess with a gargoyle?
Yeah, I am. Boy, those tablets have come in handy.
I know.
I thought I was going to have to stop feeding off of Haley when she hit torpor.
Nah. I promise you. I thought about this like 2-3 days ago. Because I was like, even if it doesn't actually mechanically go boom, it's still going to freeze them.
Right.
And best way to keep somebody in a spot is to put fire around them. Then they
Yes, that would absolutely
can
do
move.
it.
But they also might just freeze and curl up in a ball.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm willing to take that chance. And if it makes you feel any better, I rolled like garbage most of the night too.
Oh no, I'm not worried about it. It was just I mean, I was worried about it, but not upset with it. There was a few times I was like, "Oh, this is real bad," and I was worried that I would have to make willpower rolls, and so I didn't want to waste any of my willpower because I've got so little of it.
So, fun times.
Oh
Also-
boy.
I'm glad you guys had fun with it.
Yeah, no, may I say that one was already miles better than the first one?
Agreed.
It helps that I wasn't like completely and totally up in my head with anxiety. Like I was still a little bit nervous, but
Yeah. After the initial, oh, okay, this is how you do it. It gets easier. So
yeah.
did a much better job this time.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And there wasn't any points where I wasn't very engaged.
Good.
I might have been playing with Zeva, but like I wasn't.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. That's just a thing for you. You got to keep an eye on the dogs. I totally get it.
Yeah, or they come in with a rat.
Yeah.
Or eat socks and cat toys.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Mine gave me a heart attack. We were sitting out on the deck and we don't have a fence now.
Oh.
So she was out exploring the yard in the pitch black and just about gave me a heart attack because I couldn't see where she'd gone.
Nice.
See, that's the fun thing about my dogs. I can walk them down the street without a leash. They're not going to go more than 3 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah. I figured she wouldn't leave the yard, but it's still kind of nerve-wracking not having eyes on her.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Should I buy Demontation?
Yes.
Oops, all demontation party.
Oh, hey, Shiloh, I have a present for you.
Oh, God.
Oh, I can't. I need obfuscate. Rip.
Yep.
It's fine. Who needs obfuscate? I've got blood sorcery.
I mean, if you and I worked out the thing for Yuri, I'm sure we can work out a thing for Tori.
I was mainly just laughing because there's not really any good two dominates.
There isn't. Thank you.
There's Bloodleash, which is the Storyteller Vault 1, Demontation, Dominator's Favor, and Mesmerize.
Trust me, I know.
I mean, Dominator's Favor could work for Tori. It could. I'm sorry. I'm looking at things to spend my points on already. Then we can talk about the game. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Plotting and planning.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to clean up the mess.
Yeah, that's quite the mess we left for ourselves.
Yeah. But let's be honest here. That's 100% on brand for everybody involved.
I'm not going to lie. I legitimately thought we would have a much worse time with Masquerade Breaches. We did really good on that.
But we didn't have Steven.
True, but I very much expected to need to go like full dog form, like full bestial dog form.
A little bit, but it's fine.
Because
We're gonna go with it. Ice tablet.
Yeah.
You would have needed to if you hadn't had the ice tablet.
Oh, I know.
Yes, because I built the gargoyle. I know exactly what we were gonna get into for the most part. And it's
Dengle slid me the sheet and said, "Here, have a thing."
Yeah, I said, "Here, this is what I've been doing. You can do what you want to do."
Yeah. Fun times with this gargoyle.
That was the Sentinel, right? Or was it the Warrior?
That was the warrior, yes.
Yeah, the warrior.
Yeah. And for clarification for anybody that doesn't know, took Thin Bloods, had them Diablerize to get full clanship, and then used the mixed clan to make.
One more
So
time,
it
you got
wasn't-
quiet.
Took Thin Bloods, made them Diablerize to get full clanship, and then mixed blood to make gargoyles.
Yeah.
That's the disappearances.
Yes.
Yep. Gasp. Who knew?
Just for anybody that wasn't following that. That's how that works. And for anybody that wants to know anything about Gregor, I will tell you, just not on this platform.
That's for later. Because he's still around. Yeah. He's still kicking.
He's still here.
For now.
Yes.
I don't know what we're dealing with him next.
It'll be a minute.
I specifically asked Dengle what he wanted to do with Gregor, and he's going to be someone else's problem.
That's actually because of me. I straight up asked if Dengle could be the one to wrap up his story. No offense to you or anything like that.
No, it totally fits. It totally makes sense, and it's also in character for Gregor to piss off.
Do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is.
Throw Haley to the wolves, quite literally.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Literally.
Yeah.
Absolutely done. Would have done that.
Yeah, he's a wonderful human being.
He's human? I just assumed he was I
Even
just
when he
assumed
was, he
was
wasn't.
born that way. He's always been like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, even when he was human, he wasn't.
Yeah. At this point, I think he's more human than the terribly malformed worm thing under New York.
More human?
Or less human. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know what that is the progenitor of the Zamiti line.
Yeah, good times. There were a mass of vines, mushrooms, and like rats and stuff all merged together. It's real gross.
Disgusting.
It's almost as bad as Salat.
Hey now.
They're a giant white worm with a third eye.
Woo!
An actual worm. Because that's not gross.
Nope.
I thought he wasn't a worm anymore after he got eaten.
Is, however, also isn't. Yeah, it's weird.
That's about as salubrious as it gets. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to, or well, I'll just send you the part that says what he is now. Super gross though. Anyway,
Oh, and Tori has a dominate power. She has cloud memory already. Because that, no, she hasn't, because she only got it right before all of this with the Toreador she ate. I picked up Cloud Memory, Daunt, and Melpomene. I got a fun gingerl going on, let me tell you.
yes.
Separating blood sorcery from their rituals, I have 6 different disciplines to pick from right now.
Whereas Steven has 2.
He's got 3.
And Shiloh has 3, I think. Maybe 4.
4. Because the one she got from her feeding type isn't a core.
I just wish that Dominate had better choices.
Agreed.
It does once you get to the higher levels.
Right. I mean, typically the first 2, I don't see any reason to not pick Cloud Memory and Compel. For 1 and then 2. I mean, Mesmerize is cool, I guess.
But it's not very Tory.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just a quick heads up. If I suddenly freeze up and disappear into the ether, it's because my computer decided to force a restart on me.
Cool.
No excuses. All the excuses, it doesn't matter. We'll get through it.
Can I don't remember the rules on this. Can I pick a dominate thing that Haley didn't have because it's in her tree?
So I believe you can.
Yeah, I think it's just outside of their in-clan disciplines. You have to go with what exactly they have.
Yeah.
God forbid the person that Diablerizes Tori is going to have their pick of the litter there.
Yeah. What do you want? Yes. But let's be honest here. Who's going to Diablerize Tori?
Cyril.
No.
When she
Cyril
stops being
wouldn't do that.
useful?
No, Cyril wouldn't do that.
Really?
Cyril would just drive her into whitedom.
That's fair. He'd get more out of her from that.
Yeah, he would.
Not that he knows it, but he could also have a pretty easy way to come out of torpor now.
Yes.
Not that he knows it. Although,
Actually,
he might.
no. Because you're not 10th generation.
Oh, I thought he was 11th.
No, he's 10th.
Hmm.
That is why Samal and Cyril both can intertwine, but nobody else can.
Oh, I straight up thought they were both 11th for some reason.
No, they're both 10th.
Ah.
They're both old bastards.
Fair enough. Yeah, good times. Okay. Well, I'll go over what I picked later. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
I'm good if you're good.
I'm good as well.
Thanks for
You gonna
joining,
start?
everybody.
Night.